Hey everyone, welcome to The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gaby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows they star in.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to episode 10 of The Word on the Street Is. We are so excited to have another wonderful guest on our program. His name is James Kirk. We are going to be dishing with him in just a little bit, but before then, we're going to talk to you about Orange County and Southern Charm.
Yep, James doesn't watch either of those, and those are like less exciting shows, so we just want to get those out of the way before we get into Salt Lake City and Atlanta.
Yeah, totally.
So before we get into those shows, let's just quickly touch on some Bravo news. This week was a little bit less exciting than the past couple of weeks, which is okay. Sometimes I just need some time to like chill out after like a crazy Bravo week. But probably our biggest piece of news and the saddest is that our favorite Bravo dog, Jiggy, has passed away over the weekend. We're so sad. So sad for Lisa because she's had so many deaths in her life recently.
She has. And Jiggy was so cute at the amount of like housewives he's been like passed around to. Can you even imagine like all the fabulous parties he was at? And he just was like such a sweet little dog and just really sad. Definitely a bummer.
Jig- Jiggy's lived a better life than I could ever imagine. So, at least, we're happy to know that he lived a really good life for, I don't know how old was he? Do you know?
I don't know actually. I should have looked that up.
Yeah.
But he definitely lived a long and happy and very loved life. The other thing that has happened with Erica and Tom Girardi's divorce is that things are just getting really ugly between them regarding the Lion Air settlement with Tom's law firm. And Tom's also been recently hospitalized.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I've been trying to just kind of like turn a blind eye to it because I love Erica and I just don't want to see like this downward spiral for her. So I'm trying to just kind of stay a little ignorant on it, but the truth will come out. So I don't know.
Well, Lisa Rinna did say in an Instagram post about Erica, she commented, "You bet she's going to talk about it."
Let's hope it's true because we're all dying to hear about it.
Right? And Erica's confessional look, I don't know if you saw it, it
Yeah,
was
I saw.
really boxy looking, like red.
Yeah,
She also looked just like Meredith Marks in that.
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of the same silhouette. I
Yeah,
like. I liked it. I don't know. I mean, I like anything Erica does, so I'm just
well, she
biased.
looked gorgeous. Her face and hair. I just thought the jacket looked huge
Yeah,
on her. It looked like she had giant shoulder pads in.
yeah, I agree. It was a little bit. It could have been a little bit more form fitting to her body, but
Because she usually has the best confessional looks. I live for
yeah, she
confessionals.
does. Her and Dorit always kill confessional looks.
Yeah. So for Erica, I have high standards for her fashion. This one fell flat for me with Erica.
Yeah, yeah,
So, unfortunately, that's really all we have in regards to Bravo news. Last week was just so much juicier, and
yeah,
sadly, we can't have that much every week. But, like Michael said, it's kind of nice to have like a little break because I was just glued to my phone last week. Like, my
yeah.
screen
It was
must have
it
been
was
through the roof
too much.
too much.
Well, I don't want to touch that. Summer House is coming back February 4th. I don't know if we'll be talking about it because Gaby hasn't watched Summer House, but I'm super excited. Love the Giggly Squad, so excited to see them.
Oh, that's
And
a name.
what?
That's a cute name.
Yeah, it's Hannah and Paige. They call themselves the Giggly Squad.
That's cute.
So if you end up watching it, maybe we'll touch on it. But
Yeah.
um, and then also Melissa Gorga sold her house of 12 years. Again, maybe she'll have a storyline now next season because the other storylines were fake. So
Yeah, all of her storylines have been so boring. I don't know why I like Melissa so much, but I still do.
yeah, can't relate.
I know. I've always liked Melissa, and I think I've always kind of taken her side with Teresa because she really has been dragged through the mud with their.
No, she has. But yeah, I mean, she does bring the dynamic. She brings the family dynamic that Jersey, that was the foundation of Jersey, was the family thing. So she does still give us that element. Otherwise, we really wouldn't have that without her or Teresa. But um, yeah, I'm still not a fan.
I am a fan of Melissa, but I just hope she finally can have like a better storyline.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's dive into Orange County. Not that there's like that much to dive into because this season has
Yeah.
been kind of a snooze fest. But I did think it was cute that they're all wearing masks now in like the opening scene, holding their oranges.
Yeah. I thought that was clever. I mean,
It
they
makes
really did the most with what we're going through right now. So,
I still can't really get over the fact they have them wear blue dresses with an orange backdrop. So I guess the masks help with that. Uh,
yeah, a little bit.
Orange. I think blue and orange is the most heinous combination.
Yeah, agreed. Although I grew up a Detroit Tigers fan, and those are our colors, blue and orange. So,
Those are the colors of my alma mater, Cal State Fullerton. I still put those colors together.
yeah, no, I agree.
Like the white in front of the orange, like before, that looked really good because you really can't do any color other than black or white in front of orange.
Yeah,
If they did black, it would look like goddamn Halloween.
yeah, that would be terrible. That would probably be worse, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. This episode was just weird because it was all like home footage and like iPhone footage and Zoom calls. It wasn't even like
Yeah,
a real episode.
it was just like piecing together stuff.
Yeah, it was like a homemade episode of Orange County. It was like a special. It wasn't even like a real episode, it felt like.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't a fan.
Yeah, well, I would say was not Bronwyn's best episode. Not knowing how to use the washer machine, and you're a mom of 9 kids, kind of just showing your privilege there with.
I like how you just threw 2 extra kids in there. Love that.
Oh, she has 7. I always forget. It's like, what's really the difference between 6 kids and 10 kids? There's no difference to me. Once you're past like 4, it's like,
I
I
heard
don't
I heard
know.
that 1 is 1 and 2 is 20. That's just what
Yeah,
I heard. So more than 2, I mean, my parents had 2 and they had their hands full. I can't imagine having more than 2.
yeah.
This is me. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, 7, 9, whatever. It's a lot of kids either way.
That's a lot of
But
times to be pregnant too.
ugh, well, we kind of now understand why she was wanting to
Uh,
be pregnant, which is kind of sad, but anyway.
yeah.
And then we saw that she talked about how she like lashed out on Sean and hit him.
She's getting a lot of hate on social media right
Yeah.
now because of that. Some people are now even like wanting Bronwyn to get fired from OC,
Yeah.
which I'm not going
Um,
to defend her on domestic abuse.
no, I'm not either.
It just was like, it was like, it's so shitty. You can't take her side on this, but devil's advocate, what if she was just having the worst time ever?
yeah.
It's a
Um
double-edged sword because violence is never the answer.
yeah, and we shouldn't treat a woman lashing out on a man
Yeah.
differently than a man doing it to a woman, even if, a man can a man is more powerful and obviously has more of an impact, but still it's not okay either
I
way.
agree. And that's like part of being a feminist. Like if we want to be treated equally to men, that includes issues of domestic abuse. If we
Yeah.
feel like men should be held accountable for that, then women should be too.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, I mean, totally understand that she's going through a lot. She can't go to AA meetings. She's stuck in the house. She's OCD. I mean, she's got anxiety. I mean, there's a lot going on, but again, there's still no excuse for it.
When she said she cleans all day long, I was a little bit jealous because I wish I had that motivation to clean all day long.
I do too. And I'm also jealous because she has that much of a house to clean. I have one small studio apartment, so I could clean for about 2 hours and then I wouldn't have anything more to clean. So
That's awesome. So let's start talking about Michael's favorite, Elizabeth Vargas. Just kidding.
I mean, what is there? Oh God, yeah, when she compared COVID to
Um,
AIDS.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think Elizabeth needs to go back to middle school and high school and retake her sex ed classes because
Yeah,
COVID is an airborne virus that is nothing like AIDS, which is a sexually transmitted virus.
I I just like a lot of the stuff that she's been saying the past couple episodes about COVID and all these like theories about big pharma, and I'm just like, it's really a lot. Like, girl,
Yeah, I am so over Elizabeth. If anything, I feel like I held out forming an opinion on her and was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. But it's like every time she could make that opinion for me for me to like her, ugh, she just can't. She just keeps saying such ridiculous things.
yeah, I don't know. I can't with her. She's very misinformed or just has all these like theories that just don't make sense. And I can't. I'm good.
Yeah, I if you know if she is a one season wonder, so be it. I don't really care.
I don't know. I mean, I would like for her to be, but I feel like if OC comes back, they got to have a big shakeup.
Well, I think
Like,
Tamra's gonna come back. Vicky is super
no.
like vocal on her Instagram that she wants to come back for the next season.
I
She's
think Kelly Elizabeth will be gone, potentially Emily, and then
only leaves.
maybe for sure Tamara back and maybe newbies or maybe some other old people, but we got to get the change.
Vicky posted to her Instagram who her dream cast would be, and she included herself.
Oh, of course.
So I know she really wants to be back on the show. And I mean, not that that's a surprise. We saw how angry she was when Andy didn't like have her stay at the end with all the other full-time housewives. I mean, that lives rent free in my head.
It's so funny because the producers set it up because they knew she would flip out. It was so set up, but I was here for it.
I hated so much. Sorry, not to go on a Vicky tangent, but how much she always called it her show.
Yeah, and how Bronwyn was bringing the morals down
Oh
on
my.
her show.
Well,
Just because you're an original.
God bless the Bravo producers for then showing that whole reel of all the times Vicky has been indecent when she like showed both of her breasts
Yeah,
to Terry Dubrow over FaceTime or
yeah.
like dancing on bars. I mean, if you think kissing a woman is so horrible in comparison to those things, girl, bye.
I'm sorry, it's homophobia for me. It's the homophobia for me. I'm just gonna say it.
Agreed.
So Shannon, overall, I just feel really bad for her. She has a lot of anxiety, um, just to begin with, and then to have this unknown pandemic, COVID happening, as well as, she has a pre-existing lung condition. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's a lot. So just to have all of those things, I can't imagine what she's going through. Just seeing the scenes with her, she just seems really, really, even for Shannon, because Shannon's always on edge. It's like so much more elevated, and it's really sad to see her like that. And I feel really bad. And then she has, her three teenagers and then John's son, and they're obviously not taking anything seriously. And you can tell that's really not sitting well with her, and she's really struggling. So I do really feel bad for Shannon.
Yeah, I do too. Shannon is such a worrier, and this time it's like completely valid.
Yeah,
And I agree with everything you said. I feel bad for Shannon. John doesn't seem to be taking her side, and
no.
it just has to be a really tough situation to be in.
Yeah, I feel like if I were her, I would literally, because they don't live together. I would have, if I was Shannon, I'd move into John's house and make all the kids like live in her house or something. Like, if you want to have fun, I know she's a strict parent, but like, if you want to like not take this seriously, go live there. Don't come bother me. Don't come see me. But I mean, I guess that's tough because they're like in high school. But honestly, that's what I would do. Like, fuck the kids. Seriously.
I know. I know. I That's actually something I've thought about a lot during the pandemic is how hard it would be to be a parent right now, and
Yeah.
that is just a role that I don't envy.
Especially teenagers that can drive and like,
And they just
I
want
don't
to
know.
hang out with their friends. That's all you want to do in
Yeah,
high school is just
I get it, but
friends. It's so
and
hard.
as a teenager, you don't take those things seriously. When I know,
Like,
so I don't know, but I mean, it's got to be tough for her.
speaking of teenagers, Bronwyn's son Jacob was on a Zoom call for school in full drag. So
That
here
was
for
awesome.
that. love that so much. I love being a part of Jacob's drag journey. The more
Yeah.
details, the better. I just love being a part of this journey for him.
Yeah, that was great. And I think the last episode we saw him go, or I don't think it was this episode, but the episode before we saw him go get his makeup done. And I don't know, I just love seeing it. And I think he was on video too, like in drag, like with his classmates even. I think that's really like pretty brave of him. And
I'm so here for Jacob and his journey
yeah,
becoming a drag queen. I want to see more of that. And then I really was so impressed with the fact that the OC producers wanted to include the Black Lives Matter protests, showing Bronwyn and her kids protesting. I
yeah,
am so moved by that and I loved it.
yeah. It was good to see, especially with OC, which is more of a conservative demographic. But I will say, I'm just gonna say it, I don't mind Gina right now. I do not mind Gina that much right now.
It's shocking for you. That is
Yeah.
shocking.
I thought I was just gonna hate on her all season, but she's not that bad, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's just she's only seeming good because of how shitty this season is.
true, true. Like I can't forget last season how um she completely turned on Emily last season just so she could fit in with the cool kids who
Yeah,
were Shannon, Tamra, and Vicky. So let's not forget that she sold out Emily just so she could be friends with those three women.
totally.
um,
I agree. So now we are going to leave Orange County and head over to Charleston, South Carolina, where there's not much going on in addition to OC. Things are like very bleak looking with COVID, and the season is just kind of starting to take a nosedive into the boring and depressing part of COVID.
yeah, it's unfortunate that OC and Southern Charm are the ones that like have the biggest COVID storylines. And I almost think they do because nothing else was going on. Like I think if like I like that Atlanta started after COVID, so we're not really like we don't really need to touch on it. But I think if COVID hit when Atlanta was filming, I don't think it would take up the whole show like it does with these other shows because there's just nothing happening really.
Yeah.
Um I don't know. I mean, the only really exciting part I thought of this episode was seeing Danny versus Catherine. I thought that was actually pretty entertaining.
I know. And of course, they only gave us that when there was like 5 minutes left of the episode. That was
Yeah.
the only thing from last week that I was looking forward to in this week's
Yeah.
trailer was that they were going to be getting into it. And it like, we barely got any of that. And we
I
saw,
was happy. I was happy to see Danny sticking up for herself, though. She's been a really good friend to Catherine, and
yeah,
Catherine has been a crappy friend to her. And I thought it was funny when she goes, "Is there something in your eye?"
I know, right? Catherine was like, her eyes like started like bugging out like extra when
She's
Danny
like,
said
"It's
that.
wearing fake eyelashes."
I was like, okay, Catherine,
Yeah,
fake eyelashes. All
yeah.
right. But
She's
yeah,
awful
Catherine's
though.
a horrible friend to Danny, and we're just learning more and more Catherine's a horrible person,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
sucks because I feel like I definitely wanted to give Catherine the benefit of the doubt after the way Ashley treated her, calling her an
Mhm.
egg donor. Like, that was so unbelievably mean the way Ashley treated her. I really have tried to since then give Catherine an extra benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah.
she's lost
I
all.
w I was on Catherine's side pretty much every season until now, but it was like even Cameron stuck up so hard for Catherine against Ashley. Danny has always stuck up for Catherine, and now like this season we're just seeing Catherine be shitty to both of them. We saw even Cameron's not on the show, and Catherine is spreading a rumor that her husband's cheating on her, and then she's just not been a good friend at all to Danny. I
No.
mean, she's reached out more to Leva than she has to Danny.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
And then
I'm done
her
with
like
Catherine.
coming to the house outside where Craig and Shep's girlfriend are quarantining. And she's like, but what can I do to be better? It's like, how can you ask that in 2020 and sound so clueless? Like, she genuinely
Yeah.
sounded clueless. Like, what can I do? It's like, what can't you do? Like the things you can do as a white person to be a great ally to people of color and other minorities. Like
Yeah.
the things you can do are so easy.
Yeah.
He's sitting there clueless. Like, what can I do?
Yeah. And she's only asking that because now her reputation is,
Yeah,
gone down because of all the stuff that's happened. Now she cares, but
yeah.
she
She's only
never cared.
asking. She's like, Craig, what can I do? Because
Yeah.
I'm being like dragged through the mud for good reason.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Only then does she care. So that just is telling of who she
It,
is.
it's too little, too late, and her even asking, what can I do as a white person, makes her look so bad.
Yeah. And I don't think she's ever going to change. I don't think she really cares. Honestly, I don't.
No, she doesn't.
I liked Leva kind of dragging her on their FaceTime call, though.
Oh, I was so here for that.
Thank God we have Leva on this season. Imagine if we didn't have Leva on this season.
Well, like you said, like why the hell didn't she come on 2 or 3 seasons ago? Well, she should have been
Yeah.
she should have been on the show from the beginning. That's a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
Or at least from like season like 3 or 4.
Yeah, if she's been friends with Cam for this long, why is she just now joining the season?
Yeah. I truly think that Cam was supposed to be on the season and something happened. I don't know.
Well, nonetheless, whether Cam was supposed to join or not, I think Lev should have been a part of the show a long time ago.
Yeah, I completely agree.
There's just like it's too much whiteness in a city that is like littered with a slavery past.
Yeah, exactly. It just is very, very white.
Like
And what did you think? I'm honestly really liking Shep this season though. I just feel like he's like,
he's being responsible.
yeah, finally.
I
It's
know
nice to
he's
see.
only what 40 years old. But
Yeah, took him that long. Well, it's still taking Jax at 42 or whatever, however old he is. So,
oh my gosh, him and Brittany are gonna have their kids soon.
ugh,
They're
don't care.
they're
Or if that son is gonna turn into a monster.
oh my gosh, I know
But
they're
I just thought
having. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it was really inconsiderate of Taylor to be like, "Oh, you're not giving me like affection." And it's like, yeah, he can't because you tested positive and he's not gonna like go be around you until you test negative. I don't get why. What do you not understand?
And she's like, why don't you just want to experience this with, or like, why can't you experience this with me? It's like, so that's pretty
Why?
somebody like signing up to get the flu, not knowing whether they're gonna have really like difficult symptoms.
Yeah,
Like some
exactly.
are asymptomatic, some get extremely sick, and yes, they recover, but it still feels like they had the flu in the meantime, which nobody wants.
And there's still a lot of long-term symptoms
Yeah.
and things that, no one really knows about. So why, okay, so you could spend 2 weeks apart, or you could like infect him and have all these unknowns. I don't get, like, do you not understand that or what?
Ugh.
But I don't know, I like Shep now, kind of.
I know
So
Shep has shockingly grown in
yeah.
popularity with me.
All right. Well, we are now welcomed by James Kirk, who is a great TikToker. He's one of the first Housewives TikTokers I ever met on there back in like probably May or April. And he also does great TikToks about New England, if we have any New England listeners here. But James, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit more.
Hi, I'm James Kirk. I mean, in my real life, I'm like a student and I also work in real estate, but I guess on the internet, I'm a TikToker. My TikTok is James Kirk 01. I also have a podcast. I'm super low tech, so it's a little different than this podcast just because like I don't know what I'm doing, but it's called the James Has an Opinion podcast. It's still fun to listen to. And yeah, I do TikToks about, I would say half New England, a quarter housewives, and a quarter just whatever I want to talk about.
And where in New England do you live? Massachusetts?
I live in Massachusetts right now.
Okay.
I love
And
that.
what's your favorite location in New England? Your favorite spot?
It would either have to be Providence, Rhode Island. I love Providence, Rhode Island. or Cape Cod, which is like the little hook off of Massachusetts, which it's like it's like an island almost, but it's more of like a peninsula. Beautiful beaches.
Okay. I
I've
was
only been to Massachusetts twice, unfortunately. And the first time was when I was in third grade. I went and visited Emily Dickinson's house. That was really wonderful. She's
And where is that?
in Amherst.
Oh, I'm moving there.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, small world. But my dad went to Hampshire College and he was the commencement speaker that year. That's why we all went there. We visited Emily Dickinson's house. And then the second time I was in Massachusetts, I went to Boston for less than a day and it wasn't nearly enough. And I want to go back so badly.
Yes, come back in like the spring though. Right now it's not fun.
Yeah. I was planning a trip to Provincetown over the summer, but obviously that never happened. So
Oh my
I
God,
still,
Provincetown is so much fun.
yeah.
I have like a house right outside of Provincetown.
Ooh.
It's so much fun. I really recommend.
Yeah. I've never been, but I'm definitely gonna go when COVID's over. So okay, so well, James, do you want to tell us your Bravo palette? So starting with your top 5 housewives.
Okay, so the first thing I just want to say is if anyone follows me on TikTok, I already said like my top 10 favorite housewives, but I put in like a disclaimer there. I'm in real life, I'm not like a wishy-washy person. It's not the right, I don't know if that's the right word. But with housewives, I'm so wishy-washy. Like one's my favorite one day, and then I like hate them the next week. So these are my top 5 favorite as of now. It's probably different than what I said on my TikTok. I probably should have looked at that before I did this. It'll probably be different in a week. My opinions are
Yeah.
constantly changing. But here's what I came up with. And also tell me to stop talking if I'm going on too much, because I feel like I have a lot to say.
No,
So,
keep going. No, we love it.
okay. So the first one that I have, and I'm not saying, I don't think this one, she's the best for her show, but I just love her as a person. So my first one is Candy Burris on Atlanta. What I love about Candy is, here's the thing, my issue with Beverly Hills is that I don't trust any of them. So when something happens, I don't know who to believe. Did Lisa Vanderpump put the tabloids in the suitcase? I don't know. Did the Brandy Denise thing happen? I don't know, because I don't trust any of these people. What I like about Candy is I trust her. So when she says something that I assume that it's real, that it actually happened, which makes Atlanta better for me because I know who to believe. Same with New York. I don't really believe any of them, but Candy makes me know what's kind of feel like I actually know what's going on. Whereas in other franchises, I feel lost.
That is
And
a good point about Candy. That is,
Yeah.
I never have thought of it that way. That is so, so true.
Yeah, I really like that actually. Yeah, because I mean, Candy's not the most exciting for me, but yeah, she is very trustworthy.
I just like, yeah, she's one of the few housewives, I said this on TikTok, that I feel like has never, maybe the only one that's never been wrong. She's never been wrong in my opinion.
Agreed.
And I like Riley and Mama Joyce. They're two of my favorite side characters and housewives. Okay, so number 2, I have Kim Richards. I always loved Kim. She's just like kooky. She's fun. And I liked how, even though she was going through a tough time, so I'm not going to say like it was fun for her, but in the first like 3 seasons, it was kind of fun that she was like on her own show, like away from everyone else, because she never would go to like the group scenes. And I just thought she was fun and nice, contrasting from her sister, who I'm not a fan of. Yeah, that's Kim.
Yeah.
And then my third, which is probably my most controversial one, and whenever I say I like her, I have to start by saying I don't agree with her behavior. I would never want to be friends with her. I wouldn't want to encounter her in real life, but I have to put Danielle Staub. I mean, Danielle is the only housewife, in my opinion. There's never been a boring scene of Danielle. She's been on this show for 1 and 2, and then she came back for 3 seasons. She was on for 5 seasons. She's never had a boring moment. And even with Jersey, besides a select few, like the christening or maybe on Caroline and Jacqueline's porch, that one scene, I would say every iconic Jersey scene really did revolve around Danielle, like the table flip, the country club, the Cabo dinner, Kim G screaming at her. I'm trying to think. Oh, the ponytail last season. Like, the iconic Jersey scenes have revolved around Danielle.
Danielle is iconic.
I've always loved Danielle. If she came back to Jersey, I would be thrilled. She's like the person we all love to hate. I think Danielle is television gold.
I love her. It's sad that she alienated herself.
She's one of the best villains, if not the best villain on Bravo, on Real Housewives.
Totally.
Okay, so then my number 4 is also a villain, but she's more of a redeeming villain. And I know Gaby loves her too. I have to put in Kenya Moore. I love Kenya. I love Kenya. And her first scene on the show, wasn't it when like Cynthia Bailey's like something at her, when she had the Bailey agency and then she's kicking Cynthia's assistant out of the store. Like she came onto that show and she's had a few not so great seasons, but she just really brings it. I've really been rooting for her, even when she does like crappy things. I feel like she's always provoked. Like even last season, I mean, I understand what Tanya did. All she did was, show that she wore a wig. So Kenya just responded. She did accuse Tanya's husband of cheating, which might have been a little bit of an overreaction. But I feel as if she's always provoked. So I don't think she's necessarily always in the wrong. She just might overreact.
Agreed. I love Kenya so much, and I know she can be insulting as all hell. Oh, but I think she does have a good heart. Her execution when she's angry couldn't be worse.
I'm so happy that Gaby found a fellow Kenya stan, because everyone we've had on hates Kenya.
No, there's so few of us, James.
No, I love her. And also with Kenya too, usually it bothers me when I think a housewife is like acting on the show. For some reason, I can see that Kenya kind of amps it up for the cameras, but like it doesn't bother me. Like I still find her entertaining and I feel like it's still authentic. It's just like, if the cameras weren't filming, it wouldn't have happened, but I don't feel like she's fully, you know what I mean? I don't feel like she's fully pretending to be someone she's not.
I don't think so either. I think, to quote Lisa Rinna, I think she owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she owns her personality. I mean, I love her. And then my last one, which again is kind of a controversial one, I think, is Giselle Bryant on Potomac. I will say this current season was my least, I know you're not caught up, but this current season, I'll just say she was my least favorite season of hers. She didn't really do much. But seasons 1 through 4, she was always bringing it, always being messy. My favorite Giselle moment is probably when she wore the shirt to Karen's press conference. I just love Giselle. I think she's confident. Her girls seem very nice, which makes me assume she's a good parent, not that I really know. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I love Giselle. I think her fashion's not great, but I don't think it's that bad.
Oh my God, James, you're speaking my language. Giselle is in my top 5 too. And I feel like I'm super in the minority because I love the way Giselle dresses. I love her accessories. Like my friend and I, who we both watch Potomac together. That's the reason I'm not caught up. We always watch every episode virtually together. And we always are just like, we love the way Giselle dresses. We love her accessories. And we both are like shocked that people hate the way she dresses so much. Because overall, I love her clothes.
I feel like it's gotten worse as we go on. So you'll probably notice it more. I just noticed it this past season. So you may just. But that was a good list because I feel like it wasn't a typical list. It was like a more chaotic, like villains. And so I'm here for it.
No, I've listened to a bunch of your episodes and I've heard a lot of Bethany Frankel and Teresa. I'm like, I can't put them. I need to be more unique.
Bethany, Rinna, Erica, Teresa are all like really common on and Portia. And that's like my top.
Portia, I should comment on.
Yeah, it's in my top 10, but she's really creeping her way into my top 5 with the way she's acting this season. I am so here for social justice Portia. This is the best tagline she's ever had. Mm-hmm. I can't sing enough praise for the glow up that Portia has had as a social justice warrior.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I love the social justice storyline this year. And I even loved her last year. And I think I liked her 2 seasons ago. But my issue with Portia is I really just liked her from the season she came until the Phaedra thing. I just couldn't stand her through all of that. But now I'm loving her. I love, what did Marlo call her? Portia Luther King or something?
Yeah.
I love that. I love Portia now. She's doing great.
I always stand Portia since her first season when she feuded with Kenya. I was more on the Portia side. I know that she was in the wrong with the Phaedra stuff, but I was still team Portia and Phaedra. So I don't know. I've always loved her.
It's hard to stay mad at Portia because whenever her and Kenya were feuding, which admittedly is one of my favorite housewife feuds, even when they were feuding and I would take Kenya's side, I would always end up like forgiving Portia because then she just would always go back to being her like joyful self. And it's like, I forget about that.
Yeah, she has such a good personality that you can't like hate her for too long.
Such a good mom to PJ. Oh my gosh, the two of them together melt my heart. They're so cute.
And she deserves that. She's been wanting to be a mom for so long.
Yeah, same with Kenya.
I just wish Dennis wasn't the father of her child because Dennis sucks.
Yeah, he really does.
All right, well, we'll get into Atlanta in a little bit, but James, do you want to give us your least 5 favorites now?
Okay. I feel like my 5 least favorites are kind of like random too. My first one I think is common, but then the rest are kind of random. My least favorite housewife, I think number 1 is probably Kyle Richards. I cannot stand Kyle. I think she the only time I low-key agreed with her was with the whole Lisa Vanderpump thing. But also at the same time, like, girl, you're on TV calling her manipulative, calling her all these things. Why would she want to still be your friend? I get it, it's a TV show, that's what you do, but still. And I feel like Kyle, the thing is, Kyle is very messy, but she does it very subtly. And then she never admits to it and she plays the victim. So I just don't have any respect for that. I think her husband's very attractive. I'll defend her again. I don't think he ever cheated on her. Like, I like their relationship. Her kids seem very nice, but I don't like the role that she plays on the show. And she always ended up befriending like the most random people. It was like Joyce and Teddy. It was just like always the most random people.
You're right. And now Brandy this past season, even though they always hated each other.
Okay, and then my number 2 is also in Beverly Hills. It's Yolanda Foster.
Wow.
Gigi Hadid's mom, for any of you that forget. I just do not like, first thing, Yolanda, and I'm not going to repeat them because they were like horrible remarks. Yolanda said a lot of very problematic things on the show that I just didn't like. But then also, I felt like she always just went to who kind of had the power in the situation. Like, she was Lisa's friend when everyone was against Kyle, then she was Kyle's friend when everyone hated Lisa. She came off very wishy-washy to me. I just did not like her at all. Just certain things she said just really irked me.
Interesting.
Fair points.
Random one. I feel like no one talks about her. She's like the most forgotten housewife. And then 3 is, I recently came to this conclusion, is Ashley Darby. I'm just not a fan. I think, and I hate, I'm the type of person where I'm like, we shouldn't take housewives too seriously. It's just a show. But I think with the fact that she keeps bringing her husband around is almost beyond the show for me. I think he's done a lot, and I think it's not her husband's actions. That's not her fault. But the fact that she keeps bringing her husband in front of the camera crew when he's done all these things to them, and she's honestly creating an unsafe work environment for the crew. And I'm the person that's like, oh my God, I cannot stand when people take housewives seriously. But to me, I don't like that. And I just think she's never really had a true friend on the show.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then this one I don't have a lot of commentary about. I just don't like Jackie. I don't even know her last name on Jersey right now.
Jackie Goldschneider.
Yeah, I don't like her.
Yeah.
Not a fan either.
And then my last one is a collective one. There's just a lot of one-season wonders I did not like. I don't have much commentary, but I'll just say them. Amber Marchese, the twins, Carlton, Joyce, and Kim Fields. I didn't like any of them.
Yeah. You know what? I will say I low-key liked Carlton, and I know that's unpopular, but like the whole Wiccan thing, like it was just so weird and random that I low-key like enjoyed it.
I liked that part of her. What I didn't like was that she so clearly, even though again I do not like Kyle, that she so clearly came for Kyle for like a storyline when Kyle literally did nothing to her. It was like, girl, stop.
It's so true. I read not too long ago that Carlton and her husband are no longer together. That her husband, who was featured on the show when she was on season 4. So I was like, oh, another housewife marriage bites the dust.
Yeah, what's new, really?
It definitely has to be more than half of them at this point.
Seriously. And then what's your favorite city overall?
Um, okay. It used to be a tie between Atlanta and Jersey, but now I think it's Potomac.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, Potomac's coming into its own right now.
I
I
love it.
cannot
Great
wait.
cast.
I cannot wait to watch season 5 and this reunion. The memes are like unmatched. They're
Uh-huh.
It was such a
So
good
great.
reunion.
oh my gosh, I can't wait.
All right, so do we want to get into Salt Lake City or Atlanta first?
Let's let our special guests choose.
Yeah.
Here, let's do Salt Lake because I feel like we already talked about Atlanta. Like we're gonna go back, you know what I mean? We already did a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
Atlanta, so I want to dive into something fresh.
Okay. So, okay, before we get into Salt Lake, I just want to hear, who are you enjoying on Salt Lake and what are your thoughts just on the city as a whole now that we're 5 episodes in?
I'm genuine, like I don't think they're all like great people, but I'm genuinely enjoying all of them. I think they're all great casting choices. I love how Jen is so extra. Jen, to me, and this is so random, she reminds me of a combination of Adrienne Maloof and Nene Leakes. I don't know what it is, but she does, and I love her. And then Lisa, I think is really funny. I like the whole I love that. She says that about everything. And I like how she exposes herself for being fake, how she's a
Yeah.
Mormon and she has a tequila company. Like I think it's funny. And I
Yeah.
like Whitney as a person. I think she's like super fun and friendly and I like her.
Yeah. My favorite's Jen. I love the extra housewives, so I think she's amazing. And I agree, I love Whitney as a person and Heather too.
Oh, Heather, yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
So we saw a continuation of Mary's Met Gala luncheon, the theme that still makes no sense to anybody, but was still very entertaining to watch. I loved Jen mocking Mary's facial expressions. I think I did that scene several times. That was so funny.
The whole lunch was funny because we had, Mary just making her Mary faces. We had Jen mocking the faces. We had Heather trying to mediate, being like, "No, Mary, you want her to stay. You want to talk to her," like putting these words into Mary's mouth. And then we had Whitney's commentary. "Well, I really liked the pen that I got with my name on it, and I was just here for the pasta." Like, there was so much going on. It was so
Like,
chaotic.
it's too funny. You sound just like Whitney. I can't.
Her nasal voice. It's because I have a Midwest voice, so I can be nasally too.
Oh my gosh.
But it was
All I
just
could
a
think
lot.
of, someone memed about this already, of course, but when Whitney was like, I'm just here for the pasta, immediately all I could think of was James Kennedy saying, It's not about the pasta. Like, that's all I could
Yeah,
think of.
I know. Or then Charlie from Vanderpump Rules saying she never had pasta before.
Bye. Whatever. Who doesn't want to eat pasta? That's like one of the
Seriously.
greatest joys of my life is
Oh
eating
my God.
pasta.
This
Same.
pasta too, wasn't it like the $1,000 truffles or whatever it was? With Mary's money, there were who knows where she's really getting it from.
Yeah. And then they got like what? Louis Vuitton AirPods.
I forgot about that. And the
Like,
beta fish on the table. This is a genuine concern. What happens to the beta fish? I was like, what happens to them after this? Did she return them to the pet store? Does she? I don't. That honestly, I was like,
it was extra, but I'm here for the extraness. So,
no, I loved it.
That's what we live
well, some of Mary's comments were very concerning to me, saying that she wouldn't go to a 7-Eleven if there's black people in front of it. I know she didn't actually say it on the show, but I believe Jen, and she did make a comment about it in her confessional, and then saying like ghetto and hoodlum. I know, I just didn't sit right with me, at least.
Same.
No, it was horrible. And especially, I understand why it hurt Jen's feelings because that's her children and her
Yeah.
husband. I did see, though, on Twitter or something, and who knows, maybe just be backtracking. I should have remembered what she said. Mary, like, talked herself, explained more, and who knows if she was lying or not. I forget exactly what she said, but it sounded like maybe Jen took it out of context, but I don't know. That's a pretty big accusation to make. So I think I probably believe Jen.
Yeah, I felt really bad for Jen because, yeah, obviously her kids are black, her husband's black. Like, that's And I know that Mary is Black too, but it feels like Mary, like she grew up in Salt Lake City, which is predominantly white. And I feel like she's like continuously trying to like impress white people. And so I feel like she has this like self image issue with herself. That's my take on it, I guess.
And Jen's husband was saying too in the phone call, he was like, there are still Black people that are racist towards other Black people, and he was like, and that's not okay, but unfortunately that's something that happens. And just like really quick, I just wanted to touch on how much I love Jen's husband. I think he is
Mm-hmm.
so sweet. He actually reminds me a little bit of like my fiance, who's very like survival instincts, like make sure you know these things. And she's like, Sharif, I'm going to Louis Vuitton. I don't need to know my what's the break points or something like that.
Yeah.
Or no, what are your exit points? That's what it was. Something like that. It's so funny. I love their marriage. I live for couples that are like super different ends of the spectrum personality wise. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love them. I do feel bad for Jen. I do think she's going through a lot with, her dad died. And then Sharif's not around a whole lot. So I feel like it's what's kind of causing her to just have these huge blowouts against people. But I'm still Team Jen, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it might be just something else going on because I mean, you saw at the party that Whitney threw where she really went off on Meredith. That seems like something that didn't really have to do with Meredith and had more to do with Jen because it was such a big meltdown over what seemed like nothing.
Yeah.
She went to Mary's church, so I think it might just be this pressure with her father passing away. So I know
Yeah.
I think I am Team Jen. She's done things that I've disagreed with, but I want to support her.
Yeah, I totally agree. And no housewife's going to be perfect, but Jen's bringing the drama. She's bringing the entertainment. I'm not going to turn on her anytime soon because I'm here for it. Do we want to talk about Meredith and Seth's separation, which I know it's like such a cliche storyline, like when is there not a separation? But
yeah.
curious what your guys' take on it.
So Meredith and Seth, I really think that having a divorce storyline is outdated with Housewives. That's why Brooks is such a big part of Meredith's storyline. I was sad to hear that they're separating since they have 3 kids, and like their goodbye was like really emotional. And it probably took a lot for them to let the cameras stay in there instead of being like, you need to leave, Nene Leak style when someone enters
Yeah.
the closet. You know, it was nice that we still got to like experience that, like that wasn't staged. That was a very, very vulnerable
Mhm.
moment. So I see like a lot of genuineness to Meredith. So I like her a lot. I know it's a little bit mixed on how fans are feeling about her, but I'm
Mhm.
enjoying her, and I want to see how her storyline plays out.
Yeah, I like, I mean, I actually I understand completely where she's coming from. I think she's had to move, it seems like she's had to move around a lot. She said like Toronto, all these places, New York. And I think she finally like found her thing in Salt Lake City and she likes it. And she's like, I'm done moving. I've sacrificed all this for you. Why can't you just do this, stay here for once for me? And I think he doesn't seem very understanding that she finally, made roots somewhere. And also, like, I guess she wouldn't say it, but she's also like on the show now. Why is she going to want to leave? She has her successful business and she's on the show. So I think he needs to be a little bit more understanding if he wants their relationship to work. Not that I'm a therapist or anything.
Yeah, I totally agree. As I know you guys aren't from the Midwest, but there's unspoken Midwest rivalry between Michigan and Ohio. So as someone from Michigan, I would never want to move to Ohio. So immediately I'm like, no, I don't blame her for I wouldn't want to go to Ohio either. But no, I mean, yeah, like you said, she's established in Salt Lake City. Why would she move? Yeah, she's got the show, her business. But I definitely do think the scene was real. Even if, breaking up with someone after a year, that's hard. But after what, 20 something, 25 years or more than that, I don't know how many, but a lot.
5 years,
um
3 kids.
yeah, and 3 kids. I mean, that was like a lot of emotion. It almost made me like get emotional watching it. So I do want to see it play out. I know that they're still together though, because she posts with him on Instagram and stuff. So it'll be interesting, I guess, to see what happens.
Well, that's good news. I don't have her on Instagram, so I had no idea.
Yeah. I'm mixed on her too because I'm someone that likes the loud housewives like Jen, and I know Meredith is more low key. So I'm like, she's not someone that really resonates with me as a fan, but I do like appreciate her for, who she is and what she brings still.
I was so here for the I am not engaging. I am disengaging.
Yeah. She's like the most mature one out of all these girls.
I was like, I'm using that every time somebody tries to talk to me after 4 p.m. on any day of the week.
Yeah,
No,
right.
she gives me major. Is she a New Yorker or is she from New Jersey? She gives me
New
East
York.
Coast vibes. She's New
Yeah, New
Yorker.
York.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Or
that's the vibe that
was
she
she
gives me.
Chicago?
I
I
think,
think
Oh,
I think Lisa's New York and Meredith is Chicago.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense to me. Still, part of my family's from Chicago. They have a pretty big personality in Chicago.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What I also liked was about this episode was Heather. I really liked Heather's. I like her parenting, and I actually liked her daughter, the ginger one. I don't want to call her the ginger one, but I don't know her name. But I liked how she was just saying like, I'm not gonna force you guys to go to church, like, and I liked how her daughter was like, they're judgy. I don't really want to go. I don't want to feel judged if I don't go every week. And I liked how Heather was just like, yeah, you don't, I'm not gonna force you to go. Like, it's okay. My parents were like that too. Like, they didn't force religion on us. So I
Same.
really like Heather.
I
That's a
do.
relatable storyline too. I think to a lot of Americans or just people that had a religion religion in general. If they're a lot not super connected to it, I know that's something that I could relate to, like growing up Catholic and then stop going. Everyone can I think that's a really good storyline.
Yeah, I think it's great. Especially just because like the Mormon church is so judgy, and after her divorce, they got judgier, and they not only iced out Heather, but they iced out her kids, and like that's just so unfair to them. Like their kids, like they don't have anything to do with a divorce. So I don't know. I personally just don't not a fan of the Mormon church, I guess. I want to touch on Mary and Heather's dinner just because I think we saw a lot more insecurity come out in Mary when she was crying about, I mean, it was kind of sad. Like, she's like, I didn't want to marry him, but I trusted my grandma and I saw her living this fabulous life. And I thought, well, if I trust my grandma, then I can marry him and live that life too. I feel like she really almost sold herself out just to like have some designer bags and clothes. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of sad.
I do. I feel that way too. Like a piece of me does feel bad for Mary, but at the same time, I'm like, you made your bed, you slept in it, but also you wanted to be like faithful and live up to what your grandma wanted of you. But just still, like she still talks about the fact that it's an arranged marriage so much, and like crying about the fact she didn't want to marry him. She was like pretending she couldn't have sex because she was on her period. I
Mhm.
I feel really bad for Mary in that sense, but I don't know.
I feel bad in that sense for sure. But my sympathy, and I bet you guys have seen this too, like all the rumors about like her church being a cult and
Yeah.
all these things. I think it depends. If those rumors are true, my sympathy, I think, will be less. But if that's all made up, which, since that's kind of dark, I hope it's made up, then I think I am pretty sympathetic towards her because, I mean, I mean, she was basically a kid, didn't she say she was like 19 or something when they got married? She was young, right?
She was, yeah, either like 19 or early 20s, like pretty young. Either way, young. Yeah, I saw all the rumors, and then this video came out this week of her like, it was like an audio of her like yelling at her congregation. So I
Yes.
have a, yeah, I have a feeling that there's a lot of truth to it. Maybe not fully all of it's true, but I do have a feeling a lot of it's true. So I don't know. I mean, I will say it's definitely probably the most interesting storyline we've ever had. Like, I mean, it's a lot. So, I mean, I'm here for it, but I don't know. I don't know that I have that much sympathy for her.
I hope Andy asked her at the reunion. I don't know how he would ask it, like, "Oh, is your church a cult?" Like, but I just want Andy to ask.
He'll
I was
probably.
thinking about that too. I cannot wait for the Salt Lake City reunion. It's gonna be
Oh my
so
God. I haven't even like pictured it in my head yet, and I just am now, and I'm like, all the lights are going off.
it's not gonna let us down.
No.
No, it'll be great.
Any final thoughts on Salt Lake?
I think I'm all set. I think I'm ready to head over to Georgia and dish on our Atlanta ladies. What do y'all think?
Yeah. All right. Well, we finally got to meet Drew and LaToya this week. James, Gaby, who did you like, or did you like both of them? Neither of them? What are your thoughts?
James, you can go first.
I liked LaToya. She gave me Giovanna vibes a little bit. Like she came on very strong,
Yeah.
and I liked that. Drew, I'm not saying I disliked her, but I didn't get so much. And the story with the husband, I I think that, in my opinion, that storyline is very just it's happened a lot, especially on Atlanta. So I'm just like I am not that I don't care, but it's just not the most interesting storyline to me. So I'm not sure how I feel about her, but I loved LaToya. I thought LaToya was great. You know, she came in as Kenya's friend, and I feel like anyone that got introduced as Kenya's friend is always it's messy and funny. Like we had Claudia Jordan that one season, who I
Oh my
loved.
God.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I still don't get why Claudia Jordan was a one season wonder. I really don't get that.
She should have stuck around. She would. I loved her. I thought she was great.
Was she fired or did she quit on her own?
She was demoted to a friend, and then she was like, "I don't want to be a friend," so she quit. Which I was like, "Oh, that's such a bad decision. Just be a friend."
Yeah.
I agree. I like LaToya so far too. I think she's really fun, except that moment when she was really mean to Drew, when Drew was like talking about herself and she was like, okay, well, I don't care about that right now. I was like, wow, rude much. But other than that, I thought she was very entertaining. And I love that the producers put like, when they put her name, it was like Candy's friend stolen by Kenya.
Yeah. I loved LaToya as well. I guess that's not as popular. From what I was kind of looking at, it didn't seem like LaToya got the best reception right now, but I think she's really fun. Like you said, she's like Yavanna, but she's like a little bit more elevated, like a little bit more elegant than Yavanna was. I got like just like kind of like not to be like I don't know, I just got like trashy vibes from Giovanna. I don't know. Something from her like didn't set well with me, but I really like LaToya. She had fun energy. She's talking about how she was a stripper and she had a sugar daddy. And I don't know. I like the over the top housewives. So I was here for it. I was kind of here for like the jealousy that we were getting from Cynthia too.
Yeah.
Finally.
I wasn't expecting that from Cynthia.
I'm just
Cynthia is like
happy
turning
Cynthia
into
needs a
like
storyline.
true. She's turning into like a Vicky or like a Shannon where they're like always like or a Ramona where they're always like skeptical of the newbie. Now like I feel like Cynthia's like turning into that where she's been on so long that she can like just like push the newbie away because she's like too good for it now. I feel like that's how she's acting.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I mean, she kind of brought in Drew, but I thought it was kind of funny too, though, how Kenya in her confessional was like, what did she say? She said, why does Cynthia keep getting strays off the street? Where does she find them? The local pound or something like that. So it's like they both don't like each other's friend, which I think
Yeah.
is funny.
I texted Michael. I was
Yeah.
like, have you watched Atlanta yet? And he was like, not yet. And I was like, Kenya has me howling, and you will know what part I am talking about once you watch. Oh my gosh. That's why I love Kenya. I know she's messy. I know she's mean, but fuck, is she funny?
Yeah, I was here for that. Or when she said she didn't like Drew, but she thought her husband was hot.
Like, her husband was cute.
Isn't that what she did with Phaedra too? And that ended up horribly.
Oh,
So I might go down that path.
That is why I have such a huge problem with Phaedra, is because it came out that Apollo lied about everything, saying that him and Kenya met up in Los Angeles. Like, he admitted to lying about everything regarding Kenya. And she still was so mean to Kenya after that, calling her names, calling her a whore. After like Apollo said, yeah, I lied, she still was so mean to Kenya. So that was the main reason I stopped liking Phaedra. And then with the obviously the whole rape allegation with Portia and Candy, I was just like, I'm so done with Phaedra after that. I was already done with her, but I was like completely done with her after that.
Nene low-key predicted, even though they're friends now, she low-key predicted that. She said, Phaedra, you never win when you play dirty. And she played dirty and she got kicked off the show. And now I don't think she can go back on.
I don't think so. I thought potentially she could because her and Nene were friends, but now Nene's gone. So it's like, and I know her and Portia made up, but I think as long as Candy's still on, I don't think Phaedra can come back
Candy is the highest paid housewife of all of the housewives.
for not bringing anything. Wow.
I know. Honestly, that's kind of surprising. I guess it makes sense though, because she might be the longest running one now.
She's been on Atlanta since season 2.
Besides Ramona, or
Oh yeah, Ramona
was
and
Atlanta
Luann.
before. I can't remember if Atlanta and New York started the same year, so probably Ramona and then Candy.
Yeah. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah, but she doesn't bring. I love her, but yeah, she doesn't bring a ton.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate her personality, and same with Cynthia, but I feel like they've been on for so long, and now I feel like they just don't bring that much to the show anymore. If I had to pick between, I'd pick Portia and Kenya to stay over Candy and Cynthia at this point.
Yeah, me too. So also Marlo is back being her Marlo self. Shit on Kenya in the kitchen, saying she couldn't keep a man if Jesus told her to. So mean. Like Marlo is so two-faced. Like she was just sitting like 20 feet away on the couch with Kenya being nice to her, and then she's saying that to Drew in the kitchen.
I loved that. I love that Cynthia like specifically put Marlo to sit next to Kenya, and they're like, oh yeah, we're fine, but they like are so shady to each other, and I live for those kind of relationships where they can like act normal to each other's faces but then kind of just be kind of shady behind each other's back. I was here for that.
I love Marlo. I think it's funny that they since she's not a housewife, I feel like with the friends they usually try to like integrate them like, oh, it's this person's friend. I like how Marlo's been on this show for so long. She never had a peach that they don't even like try to like integrate her as someone's friend anymore. They're like, oh, Marlo's just here.
Yeah.
I love Marlo.
That's how she's introduced now. It doesn't say anyone's friend underneath her name. It just says Marlo.
That's how you know you made it.
But not completely because she's not a housewife.
I think that they've offered it. I just don't know that she wants to like show everything in her life.
Really? I feel like she would pounce at the opportunity to be a real housewife.
I don't know. I still feel like she gets paid a decent amount because she still brings a lot to the show, just almost as much as the full-time girls do, honestly, in my opinion.
I think after Kenya and Portia, she's probably going to bring the most this season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she goes on everything. She's at every event. We just don't see those individual storylines. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that LaToya, what I heard from this season is that LaToya and Kenya are like a team, and then like Drew is more so on Portia's side because we're gonna have like a Kenya Portia feud. So those are our allegiances, I guess. So it'll be interesting to see that play out.
I mean, Kenya said on Wendy Williams that I understand like it has a little bit to do with the strippergate, but she said Tanya like flees the country because of what Kenya does to her. That's what she said on Wendy Williams. Yeah. So I'm excited. I just think it's obviously not an even match, but Tanya versus Kenya is so funny. Like last season with the cookie lady, it was horrible, but it was so funny. And I'm excited for round 2.
I like Tanya, but it was funny. It's like she like brought up the wig thing and then thought like, you're going to mess with Kenya? Like, no, like she's going to bring this cookie lady. Like she's going to fuck with you 10 times harder.
Yeah, I feel like messing with Kenya is like getting into the ring with a bull that is ready to like impale you with its horns.
Yeah. And I feel bad because Tanya left the show after all the Strippergate stuff, but I mean, you're on Real Housewives. You gotta expect that stuff to happen. Like Denise, it's like the same thing. Like you're not just gonna like sit there and look pretty and nothing bad's gonna happen to you.
My favorite moment though with Tanya was last season when Kenya called her the C word. And then Tanya goes, I've never been called the C word before. And then Kenya goes, well, I've never called someone the C word before, so that makes two of us. That was my favorite.
Nice.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. I love having friends who can just like reenact a housewives moment like that. It's so good because it's back.
Yeah, I love it.
Cookie lady, whatever restaurant they were in, like the whole thing. It's just iconic Atlanta housewives. It's so good.
Yeah. Atlanta never disappoints. Even if there's not drama happening, like I just always like they're just fun to watch. I don't know.
Agreed. But I think the last thing we should talk about Atlanta is Portia and her leaving jail and telling her mom and her sister about it. She said it was the floors were hard and cold. It smelled really bad, but she still was so happy that she did it.
Yeah, the thing that really like sat with me was like she's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave jail and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna kiss my daughter and I'm gonna kiss my mom. And unfortunately, Breonna Taylor, she can't do that, and that's what I'm fighting for right now. And I don't know, that I felt like that was a really strong message.
Yeah, I literally started crying when she said that. It was so beautiful. And the first episode was so great, seeing her out on the front lines. And she just told a great story, and I thought it like Bravo really did this justice, and it was really, because they've dealt with a lot of other like really serious issues poorly. So it was great that they did this so well, and I like it's so I'm so proud of Portia. Like it's so amazing that what she's doing.
Yeah, I love it. I'm here for it. I can't wait to go on this journey with her and watch it. And yeah, Portia, like I said earlier, is on her way into being into my top 5 favorite housewives.
Yeah,
and like
she's amazing. Yeah, it's a great storyline. I'm excited to see her more with the other girls because we haven't really seen her yet. Obviously, what she's doing is way more important, but I am excited to see her with the group again as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where Kenya and Portia go wrong this season, because it seems like it's something new every year.
I know. I was really hoping that they could keep their friendship after last year when they were with their babies and they were sitting together at the I don't remember what party. Was it Eva's party? But either way, I was like, oh my God, we might actually get a friendship. But, Kenya's always going to fuck that up somehow because she's got to be shady and messy. Sorry. I like Kenya, but she messed that up.
Their feud is not one-sided. It's just Kenya, though. Portia definitely does not, like, her hands are not clean in the feud.
No, but I feel like it's got to be hard to be friends with Kenya.
It's hard to be friends with her.
LaToya clearly doesn't think so. Her and LaToya have just hit it off.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I guess it's going to last from what I've heard, but I don't know. I'm sure Kenya will do something.
We'll see. I mean, if she comes back, this is the thing about it. I know I've said this on TikTok and you'll have too, is the thing about Atlanta with these newbies is I'm cautious to think a lot about them because we never have newbies stick around on this show. Never. They're like one and done.
I know Claudia Jordan, Shamari,
Kim Fields. Yeah, it's crazy because Cynthia and Candy's been on since season 2 or 3. Cynthia's been on since 3 or 4, and then Portia and Kenya came on in 5 or 6. I don't know, but they've been all on for at least like 7 seasons now. And Claudia, Kim, Shamari, Eva all lasted no longer than 2 seasons.
Eva was on for 3.
Oh, yeah, but she was only a friend for the first one.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, I don't know. I feel like they both came on pretty strong, so I'm hopeful that they'll be good because I feel like with Nene gone, we desperately need good newbies right now.
Yeah. Yes.
And like,
The one that wishes Kim would come back at some point.
No.
I don't know. I like Kim overall, but like I feel like I'm just done watching her.
I
Like,
like her on Don't Be Tardy because her children are so annoying. And I
Oh.
mean, all 6 of them, Brielle and Ariana included, I find them all really annoying. So I would rather watch Kim on Housewives where it's not just
yeah,
Kim and her annoying kids. I'd rather have it just be like the scenes that Kim's in be all about just Kim.
yeah. And I think the thing with Atlanta is they've already gone the route of bringing back old housewives. You know, we had Nene come back, we had Sheree come back, we had Kim partially come back. I mean, I don't think Phaedra can even come back at this point. So I feel like we have no other option now but to have newbies at this point. Like, there's no one to bring back.
Yeah, I think maybe I love Sheree. I think maybe Sheree coming back wouldn't be the worst idea, but I think if they do bring her back, they'd have to also bring on a new person. Because now that there's only 5 housewives, they will have 2 spots potentially if no one's getting fired for next season. Because her comeback was actually pretty seamless to me. When Kim came back the only time she came back, it was a mess. I was so excited, and I was like, oh my god, it was horrible. I was like, get this woman off this show.
It was so bad, and that whole reunion was really bad. So I
lived for Kenya and Kim feuding. I
oh
loved
my god, yeah.
Nene's house. Oh my gosh. Like Kenya, I would love to have her as a best friend on my side. There's no one who will fight harder for you.
Agreed. But there will no one that will go harder against you either.
Oh, there is not a housewife whose side I would not want to be on more than Kenya's, or her bad side. I would never want to be on Kenya's bad side. I would fear for my life.
Yeah,
even if you're on your good side, she still talks shit with almost ruining Cynthia's engagement, talking about her, trying to embarrass her about her wine taste. Like, she's not even a good friend.
She really is not. I will say though, there's one house I'd rather actually not be on Teresa's side because I feel like you just get fired from the show if you're not on Teresa's side.
I would never want to be on Teresa, Giudice, Giudice, however you say it. I would never want to be on her bad side.
That's why Jennifer's smart. She came on and knew that she had to be on Teresa's side.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 10. We're officially in the double digits. And we had our wonderful guest, James Kirk, who was here for our episode. We loved having him. James, is there anything you'd like to say before you take off?
Oh, no, just thank you guys so much. I had so much fun. I always love to talk housewives. And if you don't already have me on TikTok, it's just James Kirk 01.
Yeah, definitely follow him. And we'll definitely have him back again at some point. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we loved having you, James. Thank you so much for being part of The Word on the Street Is.
Yes, thank you. And I'll keep listening. I think I've literally listened to like most of your episodes, if not all. I've listened to almost all of them. Don't like test me, but I think I have.